Here's a list of the top 10 fastest men in the world in the 100-meter dash at this point in the 2024 season. We are just a few weeks away from the Olympic Games, and this event is really producing something quite interesting. As you'll notice in the top 10, we have many international athletes. There's Ferdinand Damanyala at 9.79, Oblique Seville from Jamaica in second place in 9.82, followed by a whole host of new names and also seasoned veterans, such as Noah Lyles, Kendall Williams, and Akane Simbine from South Africa. This top 10 list is a very exciting set of athletes because we have a huge possibility of seeing many great nations reach the podium come the Paris Olympics. But specifically, if we look over to the 100 meters in the United States and these updated rankings, we see that this will be one of the most competitive and, quite frankly, unpredictable teams to make in the entire world. Here's the updated list of the men's rankings in the United States this season in the 100 meters. Up front by a decent margin is Noah Lyles, and close in second is the high school sensation Christian Miller. It is amazing to me that Christian Miller is still the second fastest athlete in the United States in 2024 in the 100 meters. And what's amazing is that he hasn't just run this sub-10 clocking once. He actually ran it twice, running a time of 9.95 in this year's New Balance Outdoor Nationals. Now, if you look in this top 10, we certainly have some amazing athletes and seasoned veterans, like we previously mentioned. There's Christian Coleman, there's Ronnie Baker, there's Kerley King, and Fred Kerley is just outside of the top 10 in 11th. And I wanted to take a deeper look into this top 10 because on paper right now, this really is set to be one of the most competitive races in all of the Olympic trials. And I think the only athlete that has really proven that he will probably make the team is Noah Lyles, as he has been significantly dropping times recently, and at 9.85, he is ranked number 3 in the world right now. But behind Lyles, the race for second and third place is going to be amazing. There's the rising star Christian Miller, there's the seasoned veteran Kendall Williams, there's Christian Coleman, who not only is a world champion, but he's one of the greatest starters of all time, and he was also last year's Prefontaine Classic champion. There's Ronnie Baker, a 2021 Olympian, who just broke 10 seconds on June 8th of this season. And then we have other athletes such as Kenny Bednarek, Cooper Bibbs, PJ Austin, Kerley King, and I also wanted to shout out McCallum Tamars, who did run a time of 9.94, but for some reason that is not on the World Athletics page. Now, if we go back to the 2021 Olympic trials, we saw the top 3 athletes qualifying into the Olympics to be Trayvon Bromell, Ronnie Baker, and Fred Kerley. And very close in 4th place was Kenny Bednarek, who ran a time of 9.89. Now, sadly, Trayvon Bromell is injured this season, and he has just announced that he will not be running in this year's Olympic trials, so that position is unfortunately left open. But given this top 10 that we see here, which includes 6 athletes that have broken 10 seconds, we are set to see a very exciting race, and who knows what's going to happen. This really does strike me to be an unpredictable event with so many names that could potentially make it onto the Olympic team. Now, beyond just Noah Lyles, who I really do feel confident in making the team, here are the actual athletes so far that have declared to be running in the 100 meters in this year's Olympic trials. It mostly includes the athletes that are currently ranked in the top 10, and there are a few other names that do have an outside shot at making the team. But I wanted to run through a few athletes that really do have a solid shot at making the team, and I would not be surprised if we ended up with this 100-meter team. Now, a big question mark, honestly, is Fred Kerley. He is a seasoned veteran, he is an amazing athlete, he was the 2021 silver medalist in Tokyo, but he has just not been putting together a complete season so far, and it's also important to note that he has not broken 10 seconds. Either way, I do think Fred Kerley, with his racing savvy and his experience, does have a solid shot at making the team, so he's certainly high up on the list. But I wanted to circle back to Christian Miller, who is actually undefeated this season in the 100 meters, and according to his World Athletics page, he's only raced in the 100 5 times, but every single time he races, it is a show-stopping performance. Now, if we take away this 10.38 that he ran in the qualifying rounds of the New Balance Nationals, and he also ran this into a strong negative tailwind, his season average is actually close to 10 seconds flat. It's important to note that he has been consistent, and these sub-10 second clockings here have really not been because of coincidence, but they've been because of his talent and racing execution. It's amazing to say this, but I would not be surprised at all if Miller does find his way onto this 100-meter team. But it will be very, very challenging because he will probably have to run right at his personal record of 9.93, if not slightly faster, potentially closer to 9.91. And as many of you know, that time of 9.91 is actually the world junior record, which has recently been reinstated to be Leslie Tebojo's 9.91 from 2022, where he ran this 9.91 to win the World Junior Championships in Cali, Colombia. Beyond Christian Miller and Noah Lyles, there's Kendall Williams, who's run a 9.93 this season. There's Christian Coleman, who has run a 9.95. And for Coleman specifically, I feel like with his experience and his World Championship victory in 2019, I really do feel like he must understand that these Olympic trials mean absolutely everything, so I expect him to be in solid fitness for this race. Now, beyond these athletes, I think that Ronnie Baker and Kenny Bednarek are going to bring the smoke, especially Kenny Bednarek, who's currently the world number 1 in the 200 right now with a time of 19.67. A few outside wildcards include Brandon Carnes, PJ Austin, Kyrie King, and JT Smith, who have times just outside of 10 seconds this season. But on the day, anything really could happen, and that's the magic of these Olympic trials. It will be super competitive, super exciting, and with this in mind, I would love to hear your 3 picks for who you think will qualify into this year's Olympic Games. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, until next time.